All right, you guys, welcome to WoW 25. Can you believe it's been 25 shows? That's amazing. That's like almost a half a year.
Doing
And
great.
I'm so excited. I love, love, love hearing from you all of what you're doing. And I am able to learn from things that you do. So here we are, a collective community, just sharing ideas and energy with each other because we know that it is all everything's energy. So I love hearing from you. So how about we have Darlene as our special guest today? But is anybody new here besides Dag and was it Pamela?
Cynthia?
I can't see whose our hands are up.
Yeah, Cynthia's putting her hand up.
Cynthia, thank you for coming. We're so happy to have you. And so basically, WoW was created for you new people so that you can develop healthy habits right now. And just one at a time, new practices that you bring into your life to crowd out the things that no longer serve you. And so many of our members have added wonderful healthy habits that it's super fun to listen to what they have to say and how it helped make their life better. If you were on the volunteer call yesterday, you heard from Larry, who I think he was like on the first WoW, and now he's like, okay, I got it. I'm doing what I'm doing. But he is having amazing success, and I hear from him via Telegram often. So I am here with my friend, Dr. Gloria, and she has been a naturopath for over 40 years, had a clinical practice. She even wrote a book that I'm reading.
Oh, God.
I think she
A book?
more than
A
one.
book?
Okay, well, this is the one I have. So I'll let her tell you more about things, but she has written numerous articles. That's why she's such a prolific blogger for QHS, because she's been doing this type of work for decades. She's also a homeopath, so she's told me different things that I can do. We should actually have her do a whole episode on homeopathy.
Yeah, that'd be good.
But anyway, she is like my cohort for this amazing show. So, but first, before we open up to Darlene, let's hear from you. Okay. So, Gloria, first tell us, how many books have you written?
28.
What?
And another 28 books and another 10 for doctors that I was a ghostwriter for. But they're all out of print. And until we get our blessing, I'm not going to update them, because you know how books, you recommend something, then something new comes out. And you really can't buy a book that's, several years old and then go out and say, I want to find this, because most of those companies aren't even in business anymore. And in those days, under contract with a publisher, you had to say what you used. If I used caprylic acid and I was writing about something, I had to say which one I used and all that. That was the rules. So, but they're all in used bookstores. I mean, several of you have said you found them. Tracy, you found it on a used bookstore, didn't you?
On eBay, yeah.
On eBay. Basically, the first book that I wrote, I'm the most proud of, because it's called I Was Poisoned by My Body. And that book talks about how I almost died when my liver shut down. So it tells you about why I became the president of the International Colon Association, why it led to me being an environmental specialist with the MDs on mold and all kinds of toxins in food. So it really is a life story in 28 volumes. When I ended up with detached,
it's women talking and chit chatting and whatever. So yeah, if they want to have a drink, they have a drink. Do
You
I
froze, Gloria.
the same way I have a choice?
milk and its benefits versus cow milk. Why? Because I couldn't tolerate anything but goat milk and goat products. And so I wrote a book about it. And at the time I was consulting with a company that made nothing but nutraceuticals out of goat milk. So that's how it's really, somebody said to me, if you put them all together, it really gives everybody a good vision of your entire history from 1992 forward, which is when I had my accident. Because before that, there wasn't much to say. Other than some ergonomics and my experience in dentistry 11 years. So it's been a journey, but as long as I always said, dear God, why me? But every time there's an experience, all of us that have experienced something in our health and that's deteriorated our quality of life, you become a better practitioner when you're in healthcare, because you understand what your patients and what the people that you're helping go through. It's not something you learn in a textbook. It's impossible And even the medical doctors that wrote all the forewords for my books, they were all medical people, said, we didn't learn this in medical school. You repaired your liver when it was shutting down, when we didn't even know what it was that you had to do. So, I don't benefit from them. You can buy them in a used bookstore. They're not under contract anymore. So try to find them. The one thing I want to say the most is that inflammation is the basis for most of our diseases. And Darlene has proved that. I use a different technique to test my patients, but the results are the same, right, Darlene? Inflammation is at the base of what we see is causing all the other problems, whether it's high blood pressure or lymphatic issues or colon issues. And what Darlene does, I want to validate again, as I have in the past, is so valuable to our members because she's showing it in color. And unless you see something where you see something improving in a color from red to orange to yellow to green, I don't think people get it. So when I started doing a different type of protocol to show my patients, it made a huge difference. And that's what Darlene's doing. She's making a huge difference for us because she volunteered to test people, and you see it in color. There's no denying. The machine doesn't lie.
Yeah.
Your body doesn't lie, right?
This software has been around for over 50 years. So it's
Yeah.
not what I'm doing is I work like a radiologist. I'm the interpreter. And so
Exactly.
I pinpoint those organs and I get a readout and it does a certain algorithm of what that reading is showing according to that person's frequencies.
Right. And I was introduced to that program about 20 years ago. And I didn't get the training to do it. I was just one of their consultants. But in South America, they're doing what Darlene is doing, and with a lot of success. So I knew what it was when I finally met Darlene. And it's very valuable. The MDs are doing it in South America, not just
A lot
alternative
of the
medical people.
machines and the company International Health Technologies, what I went under and what we buy our equipment from, most of the equipment is sold in Europe. And there's a
Wow.
tester like me, before somebody goes into the doctor's office, they get this test done. And what these
Mhm.
reports behind me is what you do is you give it to the doctor and the doctor knows where to go with the blood test. And it's determined by that reading. And that way they don't have to do all these other tests. And also it picks up on pathogens. It picks up
Yes.
on what the dominant pathogen is. So we can
Yeah.
do a tincture that gears to that pathogen, because in homeopathy, your problem is your remedy.
Yes, absolutely. What causes it also cures it, right? So
Right.
so what she's saying is, I just want to validate that because I don't want all of you to just think that, oh, she's doing this chart and she does these little tests. No. What happens is, I can speak about Ecuador because that's where I lived for 4 years or 3.5 years. The MDs that I worked with all my research and my teaching, did exactly as Darlene just said. They had a patient go in because they're integrative medical doctors. Remember, they're not just conventional drug doctors. They would have you do that first because they would say to me, well, if they think it's their gallbladder, but it's really something else, this shows us where it is, and then we know where to target it. Where to target the CAT scan or the MRI or the ultrasound, where otherwise they're kind of, their example was, we're shooting rubber bands at the moon and hope to hit it. So I just want all of you to understand how valuable what Darlene is doing for all of us is. And for those of you that might not understand, that it's not just some little graph that a machine produces, willy-nilly. It's literally going into every part of your body and telling you in colors what's going on. So thank you, Darlene, for all that.
Yeah, it's an
that you do.
EKG. It's an EKG. It
Yes.
tells you what's going on now. Where blood, when you get your blood back, it's old news. So,
Yes.
when you're determining an issue that's going on now, you want something accurate and that's
Mhm.
pinpointing the issue.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So
Okay,
again, thank you.
let's get going. I think you two should be in a room and you guys can talk shop all like for days probably because you guys are so similar, which we all appreciate seeing what you do. And I just love it when you guys test me too because it's so funny how the blood correlated with Gloria's last scan. It was like right there, identical. And you guys, I'm posting today an interview I did with a lady who is, I think she lives in, well, maybe she's not the German one. I get so confused. Her name's Naomi, and it's coming out today. But she was going to an integrative doctor or a naturopath, and that naturopath does the same type of testing as Dr. Gloria, which I found super interesting. So anyway, all right, you guys, it's time we're going to do the meditation. Okay. So please, if you either use the link that was posted above when we first started, or use a pen and write down your intention for this healing. It's a Survey Monkey link that Steph and Kelly posted. Are they the same? Yeah. Or just write down your intention. And I am going to do the screen share myself and do the meditation.
Tracy, how many have this system? And please set your settings on 20, and one person has it on 35 that's leading the meditation.
Ooh,
Okay,
Oh, I
okay,
didn't know.
hold on.
First
please.
of all, I was going to lead the meditation. I don't have one. Is that a problem?
Okay, it's not a
I'll set
problem.
it
Gloria,
35.
Dr. Gloria, set your machine at 35.
Yeah, give
and
me 1
everyone
minute. I
else
have to
is
go
at
set it
20.
because I've got it higher. Hold on 1 second.
35, and everyone else is at 20. Thank you. We're
Thank
linking.
Thank you. I was getting ready to say something.
Thank you.
Thank you, Steph. Steph, you know you can always speak up. Okay, Gloria, tell me when you're ready. Can you guys see the lights on my screen? Yeah?
Yes,
Okay,
we can
cool.
see.
Awesome. Is she back?
Okay.
Okay, ready?
Yeah,
All right,
I'm
guys.
ready.
So I'm going to go ahead and play this. And if you want to close your eyes, please close your eyes. If you want to just do this soft gaze at this beautiful frequency video, you can do that as well. You can sit with receiving mode with your palms up or palms down. And just take a deep breath in through your nose.
Take the arrow off of the thing.
Take a deep breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. In through your nose, let your tummy rise. And out through your mouth, let your tummy fall. And visualize a beautiful white light coming down from the heavens and into your crown. This light represents the frequency that you're receiving from this profound, conscious, quantum wave. Allow it to come in looking for the points in your body that need an amplification. Feel the wave as it brings healing energy in through your brain, and as it brings itself down through your entire skull, it is pushing out anything that no longer serves you. Take a deep breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. And now feel the wave coming down your neck, into your shoulders, and down your arms, Feel it in your elbows, through your forearms, healing your wrists, your hands, and your fingers. Notice that this frequency heals every nook and cranny. Feel the tingling or the warmth, and allow it to push out anything that no longer serves you. Everything that's not for your highest good leaves your body never to return. And seal it with a deep breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. And now feel that frequency come in through your chest, touching your heart and your lungs, and down through your abdomen, sending the frequency of love to your low back, bathing all your organs in the exact frequency that they need. Feel it come into your hips and your entire pelvis. Feel the warmth and the love just settle into every nook and cranny, pushing out anything that is not for your highest good. And seal it with a deep breath in and out. And now feel that frequency come down your legs. Feel the warmth and into your knees, where it spends a little bit of extra time. And down to your calves, and your shins and your ankles, and your feet and your toes. And as this frequency fills your body, pushing out everything that doesn't need to be there, you feel loved and safe. And seal it with a deep breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. And think of something that you are so grateful for. We're grateful for this frequency that has powerful healing applications for us all. Thank you to Dr. Alfredo and to Cynthia and to Wade. For providing this magical miracle of life to each and every one of us. Now coming down through your feet, just notice that you're in total body is encapsulated with this healing energy. And seals at the top of your head. And you are protected and enveloped with love. And make your way back into the room, wiggling your fingers and your toes. And place your left hand on your heart. And come out of your head and into your heart where you're going to stay all day. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay. Well, that was great. Would anybody like to share what they experienced just now? I would love to hear from you.
I'll be happy to.
Okay, Cynthia, go for it.
I should raise my hand. Thank you, thank you. Okay, hi everybody. Hi. I've had allergies. We have here in Texas, our weather has been up and down. It was 90 degrees over the weekend and humid. And now here today it is 40 and rainy. It's a mess. And last night was down to 30 something. It's incredible how disparity we've had here with the weather. But I had allergies really bad. It's something that I suffer from. Trees, whatever, I don't know, but it settled in my eyes. My eyes have been bothering me. And today when you started this wave did not leave my head. It was here in my head, it was here in my cheeks, it was here doing this the whole time. It felt like in different points it was coming out this way, it was coming out this way. It was a wave that was so powerful, but it was pretty much working in this area for me. And so I can tell you it's a tremendous benefit to be here with all of you. Each of us that connect, as we connect through this home system together, if we have a device especially, we are all amplifying this for each other. It is carrying and amplified. Everyone that has this feeling going through the system now into your device is carried more and better and more, and it never leaves. Okay, there you go. That's what I had to say.
Awesome.
Thank you, Tracy. That
Thanks
was
for coming.
wonderful.
Okay, Jorgen.
First of all, I'm so blessed and grateful to be among you. Thank you. It was very nice, Tracy, and my focus was my feet because I actually walk on bones, and it was really powerful. This white light go through my head down to my feet, and it's actually now I have a ball under my feet now. It's a tremendous difference. That's very powerful. So that's
Wonderful.
amazing. And I
Thank
try every morning to connect with this video from Donna was guiding and connect to the quantum field and my QSH family around the world and that's so nice. It's getting better and better and better. Thank you, everyone. I love you all.
Thank you, sweetie. Love you back. Thank you for sharing. Okay, Michelle.
Oops, sorry. Hey everybody. Oh yes, I have to agree with Jordan and Cynthia. It was like I could feel the energy go through. It was you could feel this light when you and your voice is so soothing, Tracy. It's kind of hard to keep your eyes open and listen at the same time. But my hands are still tingling. And I feel exactly what Jordan just described, like a ball of energy almost went through me. My knees that have bothered me, that was wonderful. It's like it stopped. You kept going down the body and it felt like it stopped in the areas that I kind of needed. So I felt it go through me, and it was wonderful. Thank you, Cynthia. Thank you, everybody. That was really nice. I could definitely feel it, and I'm still tingling. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
thank you, Michelle.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm
Sure.
going to take one more for now, and then the rest of you I'll call on after we hear from Darlene, okay? Because it is getting a little bit late. So go ahead, Barbara.
I woke up this morning because of injuries. My back was just really tight and I couldn't hardly stand up straight but as the energy went through, and by the way, I don't have my any device yet, but as the wave went through, my spine just relaxed and I feel taller and lighter, and I too, you can feel the tingling. Yeah, it is amazing without even having another device to work with. So thank you all so much.
Thank you for sharing that. I'm so happy to hear that people are feeling it. Um, whether they have a device or not, whether they're live. Dr. Alfredo said that's only a percentage of if you were to feel something. I think he said live versus in a replay. So it just makes us want to show up to everything so we can, experience that healing. So, okay, the rest of you guys, I'll get to you after Darlene talks. So let's talk about, hello, Darlene. Everybody knows Darlene, but if you don't, I'm gonna just give you a little bit of background. So Darlene is a bioscan specialist, and she has been doing testing with QHS for probably about a year and a half, I'm guessing now. And she has 2 years, and she has a background in nutrition and wellness. She had a spa before, so she's been in this space for decades, and she's amazing. She's such a beautiful resource for us. She does something very similar to like what Dr. Gloria was saying, and so she's one of our regular speakers here at WoW. So Darlene, what are you going to talk about today, my friend?
Oh, we're going to talk about mushrooms and the fungi and how important it is with our ecosystem as well as our ecosystems of our bodies, because we have we have 7 billion cells and organisms within our bodies. So this also pertains going back to our ancestral age, our era. So
Why'd you pick that? What made you decide to
well,
pick mushrooms?
what I've seen with my practice, I see how our guts, it's gut health. Our ultrabiome, our microbiome is very unhealthy. I, for one, had to repair my lining of my stomach, and I was going through issues. So yes, when we have our problems, we seek out what is necessary. And then with the devices that I have and what I can test, I know what works and what doesn't work. And so through the years, there's a protocol that I've, helped people with. And mainly, what can we do? What can we add to our protocol that will enhance our health even more so? And as we have these frequencies, how will the frequencies also enhance the nutrients and where, basically where the nutrients will go and signal our body. So I picked the mushroom and the fungi because it goes back over 1.1 billion years. And that's,
Wow.
if we didn't have fungi, we would not exist. And that's why it's so important now. So when we go and I'm not, I'm not going to say, that you need it, but I'm just going to point out the benefits of every mushroom, a few of them. And as you ingest it, you're connecting with the earth. You're connecting with the ecology and the ecosystem within our own hemisphere here. So
Well,
that's
I'm
why
glad you said that. I go on this hike at this mountain that's like a riparian forest with, moss and ferns and big tall redwoods, and it's lovely. And I love looking at mushrooms, and my kids are like, "Don't touch them, Mom. Don't," so I'm really curious as to what you have to say about it.
okay. Yeah, we have there's ways of looking at what mushrooms are edible and which ones aren't. But right now that they've got it down under research, around 5 of them are pretty safe to have. There's many more, but you just don't want to eat the ones with the red caps on them. That's,
No, I've never
that's
seen
the point.
those.
But yes, you're walking on the whole network. It's a mycelium, it's a network, and it feeds and it talks to the trees and it nurtures, where the trees need nurturing. There's information. So it's what they call a wood wide network web. And this network is so powerful. And by ingesting the mycelium and also the mushroom, which is the fruit of the plant, you're receiving it to your body. So I noticed that. I have a friend who now is fighting cancer, and there's a lot of benefits for cancer as well. Prostate cancer, it serves a lot of purposes. And in the culinary world, yes, we can eat them and they're digestible. And most of the time you want to take them and saute them and cook them. And there's a lot of ways you can add it to your diet and put it in soups. I use it as a soup base. I put a combination of mushrooms and saute them and onions and add the water and make my soup base and add miso and add seaweed. So there's a lot of beneficial purposes to it. Now, when it comes to the compounds and what you can buy, most of the time, the extracts are used for cancer patients. And I know people have said that they're an immune, if you have an autoimmune disease, you shouldn't take mushrooms, but that's not the case with mushrooms. They're immune modulators, and it knows when your immune is depressed versus when it's depressed. And it will be an uptake, and it
So what
helps
do you mean by
immunity.
immune modulator? What does that mean?
Well, it pretty much is a message, just like, like it tells your body, hey, this, you need to have an uptake in this mushroom, or it just helps with your immunity. It builds it up. So you
So
don't have to worry about it depressing your immune system. If anything, if your immune system is depressed, they're finding out that people need the mushrooms. It could be a combination of mushrooms. It could be a synergy. Most of the time, yeah, you want to use a synergy of form of it. So because it's not just one mushroom that's going to help you.
did you
So
want to share your PowerPoint?
sure, yeah, I might as well bring that up. Let me share my screen.
I mean, you worked hard on it, so
Yeah, I hope. Okay, let's see here. Oh, let's see. All right. And I can go into the big module here. Let's see. I practiced it, so it should work.
I can see it. Great.
Okay, so this is the World Wide Web here. And I just wanted to this is a brief video of kind of where you get an understanding. But let me see here. Okay, here's the front page. And basically we're hitting, we're going to introduce you to the kingdom of fungi, and it's the oldest, largest group of living organisms. And it's, basically it's a modern fungi that can be traced back to single astral organisms. And this astral organism diverged from our common ancestor with animals 800 million to 900 million years ago. So this goes way back. This is why it's so important. So I'm just going to do a little brief video of what mycelium is, because your mycelium is the spores that it gives off before it becomes the fruit, which is the mushroom. And a lot of times your nutrients and things you buy, are they mycelium spores? Are they the fruit? Are they the cellular wall? A lot of these things are, take notice when you do buy nutrients and what your needs are. Your mycelium is going to give you the high intake of what that spore is derived from. So here's just a little brief here.
Mycelium. It's a word you hear a lot at host events mushrooms. What exactly is it, though? Some think mycelium is separate from the mushroom. In fact, mycelium is a key stage in the mushroom life cycle. When we think of a mushroom, we typically think of the fruit body. The sudden appearance of a mushroom fruit body is actually the completion of its cellular events largely hidden from view. You see, it all starts with a spore. When the moisture, temperature, and nutrients are right, spores freed from the mushroom fruit body germinate into cells called hyphae. As each hypha grows and branches, It forms connections with the other hyphae to create mushroom mycelium. Here is where the magic happens. During the mushroom's mycelial stage, unique compounds not found in the mushroom fruit body are produced. More compounds are created during the mycelium stage than the other phases of the mushroom life cycle. In fact, the reishi mushroom's mycelium stage exhibits much higher levels of gene expression than the fruit body stage.
Your mycelium is strong.
429 protein coding genes are expressed in the mycelium stage compared to only 91 in the fruit body of reishi mushrooms. Mushroom mycelium is immunologically active. Third-party testing by Natural Immune Systems, Inc. on 3 different host defense mycelium-based products showed.
So the mycelium is the root. It's the roots of the mushroom.
Mycelium.
Oh.
It's a word body.
Okay. So what is fungi? Why is fungi a part of our creation and health? So the mycelium helps to steer the ecosystem, and it's an involuntary path. So it's the network. It tells, plants where their nutrition is, and basically it nourishes the members of the ecological communities. By cycling nutrients through the food chain, the mycelial network benefits the soil around allows the surrounding network of plants and animals to survive and thrive. So it sends messages like if a tree is sick and the other tree, and they help each other. And that's why when you're walking in the woods, you're feeling that energy. It's all around you. It's all underneath your feet. So, it's another network that has a innate intelligence. There's no, it just knows. And I look back, and this is from creator or prime creator, God. This is set for it to save our lives. And that's what it's doing right now.
So is it almost like what I'm visualizing is like a bunch of communication signals, like say phone lines, and they're all interconnected underneath the top layer of the soil? Is that what you're saying?
Underneath, further on, even the whole root system. I mean, these veins, I call them veins, but they're the mycelium. They're the roots, but it's all over the world through world disasters and the floods and everything that's happened for us to be where we are today. The mycelium has existed. The spores of mushrooms. Isn't that wonderful? I mean, when I was going down this rabbit hole, I was thinking, oh my gosh, no wonder when I take mushrooms, I just feel it. So it's
Me when you eat mushrooms?
eat mushrooms, and I know people, will go into the pharmaceutical kind. But right now, so without fungi, mycelium, all ecosystems would fail, meaning our bodies as well, because it is an ecosystem as well. I mean, we have it. The mycelium and biological applications have enormous potential benefit to our health, both people and planet. They are committed, and there's a lot of research going on that's just proving it every day as I went into this study. So what are fungi? Fungi is a group of, they're organisms that contain more than one cell. So you have yeast, mold, and mushrooms. So they can be beneficial as well as being harmful. And that's what the mushroom does. It goes in and it feeds off of decay. And many fungi are, they're getting their nutrients by absorbing from the dead, decaying plants. And then they restore it and it turns into life. So it's stealing resources from the host organism. And we'll show that with what they're doing with bees now to save the bees. So fungi can cause superficial, subcutaneous, systematic, or allergic diseases. And right now, over 1 billion people suffer from superficial fungal infections, such as athlete's foot, thrush, allergies. Life-threatening fungal infections can cause an estimated of 1.5 million deaths per year. So when you see this picture right here, this is what this is how the spore, this is where your mycelium, where they make an extract. They'll get the first beginning of that spore before it goes into form as a mushroom, as the fruit. And that's where a lot of your extracts come from, and that's why they're potent, and they have, medicinal purposes to that. So here's your mycelium network as a communication. And basically, it's a network. It connects individual plants in the ecosystem. It's made of tiny threads of fungi that wrap around the trees, and it bores into tree roots. And then the threads grow into a large network called mycorrhizal. Here it is. I can't even say it. Okay, mycorrhiza.
Oh, it's mycorrhiza. Yeah.
The mycelium network is known as the wood wide web. That's why it's called that, because it attaches to trees. And it trades nutrients for sugars in plants. Now, it doesn't need photosynthesis. It takes what the trees make, and it gets the carbon dioxide and then feeds it into the soil. And the soil is stored. And then from there, it distributes resources to needy plants, transmits distress signals during the time of stress. So, same thing with how it would work with your body. It would communicate with your body, your microbiome. And so that's why it's having such beneficial results just by people, ingesting it. And it's delivering nutrients, sugar, and water, and it's a plant delivery system.
It's like an underground community. Like what we would have as an ideal community. It's like they all have each other's back.
Right. That's right. It's a community. And so, let's just say, as the mushroom bared and as it turned, like it separated and it became animals, and then the animals ate it, and then the apes came along, right? The Homo sapiens and then they started eating the mushroom. That's how we were created. That's how that all started. That's where we came from, this toadstool here, which is really interesting. So why should we eat mushrooms? The human impact on fungi, and it has many benefits, with the environment, like we were saying. And so, it's called a process where the soil carbon sequestration, capturing carbon from the atmosphere and storing it into the soil for decades, if not hundreds of years. So now they're making drugs from fungi, cure diseases, to stop the rejection of transplanted hearts and other organs. Fungi is also a large vat of, they do flavoring for cooking, vitamins, and also enzyme removing stains. So a lot of your digestive enzymes, your probiotics, it's also a prebiotic as well, because when they take the cellular wall, like from the mushroom, it's some of these products that they have are grown on grains. So it gives you that prebiotic effect without the bloating. Because a lot of times people say they can't take probiotics, they can't take pre or all that. So, this serves as that purpose as well. So it would be something for people to try especially if you're taking a probiotic. Now, I take my probiotic with my mushrooms. So if my good flora is coming in and I have more bad bugs, the mushroom will give it a message, with the network here, and it will tell my body, hey, that good flora needs to go here, or the good bacteria needs to go here. Because a lot of times the lining of the colon and the stomach needs repairing. That's why a lot of people have Crohn's disease and they have issues there.
So when you say you take your mushrooms, do you take a tincture or a powder, or what do you do? Because I used to mix a bunch of different mushroom powders and put them in my coffee.
I go through a company that makes it from, they're powdered forms, but it's mainly the mycelium. It's not buffered with a lot of, it's not grown on the grain. So I take the extracts. It's with capsules.
Oh, okay. So you take capsules. Okay.
Now there are the powder form you can add to your smoothies, and that's very beneficial, but you're working, that's more like a prebiotic. So it's binding the toxins within your microbiome, and that's important too. So yes, you can do it in different ways. So these are like the 5, these are like shiitake, turkey tail, reishi, maitake. They all have medicinal purposes. And so we'll go here. So this is turkey tail. And let's see I got to move the faces down here. Okay, this is the one of the well-researched ones. And this is the one that they're using for cancer. And wait a second.
I bet you can find a turkey tail powder.
Oh yeah, there's plenty of that. There's all kinds of ways of getting mushrooms now. With
I've
this-
grown them before. You can buy mushroom growing kits and you can grow them. I did oyster mushrooms, I think, just because that's the one I ended up with.
Well, that's not necessary now. I mean, there are some companies in Oregon, and mainly I go to Oregon, and that's where they grow most of the mushrooms that are used for pharmaceutical reasons, as well as oncology alternative methods for treating cancer.
Oh.
And so basically turkey tail is one that they use a lot. And this is the extract. You can use the extract or you can get just pure turkey tail supplementation there, but it has the beta glucans and it also has anti-tumor properties for gastric cancer. So they use this for a lot of colon cancer and to rebuild the wall, and also for breast cancer. Reishi mushrooms, they're hormone regulators, and it also works with the immune system and also helps with protects the liver. So these are in tablets. They're, I mean, you just have to look at the back of the bottle. You have to look at, is it how much it is in the mushroom versus the fiber versus the extract. And there's ways that I'm just learning how to do that myself, because when it came to my girlfriend who has cancer, it's like, how much should she take? So we've got her speaking to someone who is going to give her the proper dosage. So and reishi mushrooms are I love reishi mushrooms. They taste good. They grow on the trees, so a lot of times when you're out in the woods, this is what it looks like. Have you seen these, Tracy?
I don't know. I can't remember, but I'm definitely going to take that picture with me next time I go.
And this is my favorite one.
So
Okay.
can you eat turkey tail? I know you can eat reishi, but is turkey tail something you can buy and make?
Yeah, you can eat, yes, you can eat those.
Okay.
The best way to get the most out of your mushrooms is to heat them. Yeah, just heat them, saute them, boil them, pressure cooker, make a broth, and then create your own tincture that way too, the extract. Let me move this out of the way. So your lion's mane is very beneficial, but your lion's mane is also for cognitive issues, for dementia. That's another thing. I noticed my girlfriend, her mind wasn't as sharp as she used to be. She was forgetting, and I didn't realize that she was having some brain issues, and she couldn't remember anything. She had to put everything on cards to remember. I mean, things that she could do before, she couldn't do now. So now, she's taking this, and I'm keeping, a watch on her and see how she improves. But your lion's mane, and what I like about lion's mane to eat, it looks like a lion, or they call it a tooth. It looks like a tooth shape, but basically it tastes like lobster. It's sweet, and I can't eat shellfish. So this plate replaces shellfish for me. And it has a lot of medicinal purposes. It basically, it can go in, it's an antibiotic, anti-fatigue. It just, especially for the brain and anxiety, it helps with depression a lot.
Well,
And
I
then-
actually have that in a supplement because my mom has dementia, and but I would rather eat things than take supplements if possible. So I'll have to look for this one.
Well, my concern about certain mushrooms are where they came from. And when you know a company and you've done the research on that company and they've been around for a while, then I trust the supplement and I trust the extract more than like if I go pick up mushrooms at a local grocery because I don't know where it's grown from. But that's a choice that you can make. Cordyceps is really good. Now, when I was in China, I was there for a month. I was studying Eastern herbal medicine, and I went there with a group of naturopaths from, you know, with Linda Page. I know probably Ruby and Gloria know. Do you know Linda Page? Who Linda Page is? Oh, I don't know if they're here, but basically we went to these farms and, like Market Street, like where you buy from Whole Food. I mean, not, just these local markets. And mainly they were just baskets and buckets of mushrooms. And cordyceps was the one that they really had us all taking, and we would eat it dry. I had so much energy. This is a athletic performance. If you want to have energy, and also what it does too, it does the energy, but it also helps with sexual dysfunction. So what the story behind cordyceps, we were in Tibet, and we were, I said, what are those animals? And they turned out they call them yaks, but they were cows. Okay. And the yaks were eating this grass. Well, they found out that these yaks were getting really frisky, and they had to figure it out and find out they were eating the mycelium of the cordyceps before it turned to a mushroom. And they captured that, and that's what this looks like. It's little strings, and as they grow out of the ground before it turns into a fruit, which we call the mushroom, they were eating that, and they were really having some really great benefits. So a lot of the people in China, they put this in their soups and stews. They were using it for the Olympics back then. I went in 2007, and so this was like a number one, nutrient for athletics. So then
Oh, I'm
they've
gonna
done
have to
a
try.
study. Yeah, they've done a study. They've proven that, psilocybin, or I can't even say that. Psilocin.
Psilocybin.
Psilocybin. I've been going through that. Psilocybin. Well, basically, that is made from lion's tail as well. And they found that it helps with disorders and anxiety. But what they did with the John Hopkins research, they found that only 2 doses gave that person what they needed. It could be someone who had cancer, prostate cancer. And then they did a follow-up, and then they found out that half of the people that were treated with psilocybin was, they went into remission. So, the reason that they are not really promoting it in the medical world, which is in a way it's good for us, is because it doesn't make money. With 2 treatments that help these people, they don't, how 2 pills, it didn't, it showed that it did help. And a lot of people, and they're guided, and you go through a euphoric feeling of love, and people that have had these experiences, are in touch with, with prime creator and love, and they just feel just overwhelmed. So when they come out, they don't have that fear that they're dying. And it's really helped them with stress to cope with their disease, whatever they are going through. So here's a chart that just basically gives you, okay, so let's say you, with the gut health, the digestion and microbiome. So it just shows you chaga, cordyceps, lion's mane, and reishi, and turkey tail. Those are really good combinations for microbiome. So, I don't know if I can post this as a PDF and people can just refer to it.
Yeah,
But
you can give me that, and I'll go ahead and upload it so people can use it as a resource.
But my favorite, maitake, now, if you're wanting to lose weight, maitake mushroom is one of the ones that are really good. And also maitake with reishi has proven that it will help people lose weight, and they just feel better as they're doing this. But, these are outside sources. These are just, it's outside the box. It's not what, it's been promoted. I mean, now that I know, I mean, what our bodies are going through, and the reason, I see results with these when people take them in the test, and their inflammation does decrease. And that's and the stress,
Cool.
they sleep better. So how to introduce more mushrooms into your diet. So, hey, we all like pizzas, right? We like hamburgers. Well, I do portobello sandwiches, instead, or like that chicken fried steak. Why not just make it a portobello fried steak? Just things like that in your stock base. And how often should you eat mushrooms? Well, every day. So here we go with the way the bees. Now, the bees, they also are important for our ecosystem, because if we didn't have bees, we wouldn't have food. And so basically what was causing the bees to diminish, which they're still doing, the varroa. And so what this research has shown is they would feed the extract of the lion's mane, the mycelium, to the bees. And they found out that the bees, it kills the mite on their wings. But also what they found out is when it's transmitted, or when the termites eat this extract, it kills the termites. So it's serving as a pesticide as well.
Oh, so it's
Where-
basically killing one species that's not good and helping and supporting a species that is good.
Right.
Interesting.
So I just, here's a little
Like
segment.
it's smart, like it has intelligence.
Yes, it has an intelligence. That's what the network's all about. It
Wow.
just knows. We don't have to have, it's not programmed. It's prime. I mean, it's created from prime creator. Okay, let's just say that, because that's where it's coming from. And that was created with all the darkness that's coming into this existence. This is what's saving our life, really. This is how I look at it. And also the frequencies that we're getting, but this goes back before even frequencies. So this is what you can buy now. This guy has spent he was raised $5 million to what they did. And it's the extract that's in these bee mushroom feeders that you can hang in your yard or whatever, like you do bird feeders, and the bees take it in and they take it back to their host, and they keep from getting that disease, that varroa mite disease, for their wings. So here's just a little segment here. I can.
One of the leading problems facing beekeepers today is the varroa mite. These mites attach themselves to bees, feed on their blood, feed on the larvae, and transmit.
Sorry. I don't know
It's very interesting how it can do that with something I've never even heard of.
One of the leading problems facing beekeepers today is the varroa mite. These mites attach themselves to bees, feed on their blood, feed on the larvae, and transmit viruses.
Varroa mites are very good at developing resistance to chemical treatments. The beekeeping industry had a couple of compounds that they used pretty extensively originally, and it's really just a matter of time before mites develop resistance to that compound.
That's okay, Darlene. Let's finish up. It's already afternoon.
A sick bee.
Okay, well, that's about 5 minutes long, but it goes back to how this was developed, and basically it takes the extract, and then it helps with the virus. And then when we get back to what does mushrooms do for the skin? So Andrew Weil, everybody knows who Andrew Weil is. Well, basically he came out 25 years ago with Origins, a skincare line that has mushroom serum in it. So it is beneficial for the skin, and it helps with rosacea. And so the summary here is, yes, how fungi is an important role to our road for well-being and spirituality and to reconnect. So it's a pivotal role, and it's, in the new century here. So gourmet and medicinal mushrooms will continue. Organic gardeners, I mean, there's groups, forming groups all over. Mushroom enthusiast. I mean, I want to meet one of those. I mean, I love to go and just, capture that. Commercial cultivators, researchers, nutritionists. So it's a quantum leap in their popularity, and it does support the immune system. And it's representing a pesticide-free alternative to traditional, then your white button mushroom doesn't do anything. And an instrumental to recycling of wood and agriculture. So that's another thing. And also, next time it's easily grown. Everybody, talking about, yes, you can grow your own mushrooms and form it on wood, and there's a lot of videos on that. So, and your greenhouses. So that's pretty much the end of that story
Well,
here.
thank you. I love it. I'm gonna look up the place that I found that you can grow your own mushroom. Because I found it in San Luis Obispo at the farmer's market, and they have these little kits that you can buy to grow your own. But looking at your chart, that reishi mushroom, that has a lot. I mean, it was the whole line.
The reishi is a very important mushroom to incorporate.
Yeah,
Yes.
do you guys have questions for Darlene?
Tracy,
Gloria.
I do.
Okay.
I have a question and a comment. Darlene, were you referring to Linda Rector Page when you were
I
talking
don't know if
about
her middle name
Linda
is
Page?
Yeah.
Yeah, Linda Rector Page was a professor at Clayton, and so was I.
Yeah,
Her
I
middle
was at
name is
Clayton.
Rector.
I was
Yeah.
at Clayton too.
Yeah, it was Linda Rector Page. What I want to say is that the chart that Darlene showed is so valuable because people think that the white button mushroom you throw in a stir fry, or you put it, that's not what she's talking about. I drink it every day. Tracy, I asked you to get some, remember? It's the instant coffee, yes ma'am, that we got on Amazon.
I drink that
don't know if
every
you can
day.
see it.
Yeah.
Well, that's got the reishi mushroom. That's why I drink it, because what Darlene was saying, I don't know if you can see it, it's Gano. It's Gano Cafe Classic.
It's so
Gano.
good. It tastes
And it's
so good.
It's instant, and I'm a coffee snob. And so when a patient of mine introduced me to it a long time ago, I knew the doctor from Singapore who helped fund the company to begin with. And I was like, you got to be kidding me. Instant coffee? And it's delicious. It's creamy, and it's organic coffee with reishi mushroom. And this doctor was a gerontologist, specialist in anti-aging. And the reason he helped fund it was because it was helping, like Darlene said, helping people to live longer, healthier. They had better complexion. Everything was better in their life. And he was a specialist in aging. So I've used it for years. It started out as a multi-level, and I wouldn't have anything to do with the multi-level. So I bought it from a patient, and then eventually it became available on Amazon. So it's Gano Coffee Classic. I don't know if you can see the box. It's hard to see on the screen.
What
Can
I
you
would
see it?
suggest, if you want some beneficial, if you have a life, of cancer, or you're fighting something that's crucial, do the research, go to the companies. You can call them, they can give you their statistics, they can show you, what mushrooms are going to be beneficial. And pretty much, the one I'm dealing with, he does a lot of TED Talks, Paul Stamets, and he also works with Andrew Weil. And his mother alone, had 4-stage cancer, and he worked with her, and, she was taking 6 to 9 grams of the extract a day. So, you have to base it on your weight and, and proportion. So somebody that's a specialist, can advise people, but really look at what the ingredients is, and where it comes from. If it's buffered with
and don't
or fiber or anything like that. Now, that's okay
Yeah.
as a prebiotic, but when you're trying to work with your health issues and you want to see some better results, this is research that needs to be conducted by
And in my opinion and experience, you need to be with somebody. I am not an expert on mushrooms. I've done a lot of research, taught in China, but I'm not an expert on mushrooms. And so I would not personally, Darlene, and you have good experience with them, I wouldn't go to a company and say, tell me why your mushroom is better than another one because I have cancer. You need somebody who's an expert practitioner that is expert in mushrooms to tell you which ones you need. Because if they've got a company product that they're selling, they're going to want to sell you that product.
And there's
And
an
so unless you
oncology,
have personal experience with
right,
it,
there's an oncology mushroom reference too that you can go.
yeah,
As long as you're with the
that you can go
naturopath.
to. So don't just decide, please, to go out and eat mushrooms. What Darlene showed us is very valid, or I wouldn't be taking it for 22 years now. I have 2 cups
Edible
of coffee every
mushrooms
morning.
are beneficial. They're protein, they give you protein, they give you beta glucans, they give you polysaccharides. I mean, they're beneficial. So your mushrooms that are in the grocery store or your dried ones, those are beneficial. I would, recommend those as well, but I mean, they're not going to be harmful. But when you're going to a supplementation or an extract, yes, do your research.
Awesome. Does anybody else have questions for Darlene? Do you have a couple minutes? Linda, go ahead. Oh. Linda?
I was going to say thank you, Darlene, for your
Oh.
medicinal mushroom tour. I did not know that they were using it to solve the honeybee
Mhm.
ailment. That's awesome. And I know that mushrooms in general, and I'm familiar with the environment, the mycelium environment, sort of been fascinated by that. I know that they're very fibrous. All of the mushrooms are, and I understand they do say you should cook them before you eat them because they're they have so much fiber in them, and of course your microbiome love mushrooms or certain aspects of the microbiome. I just had commented that I had cooked the lion's mane and the shiitake that I had in butter, and I forgot about them on the stove. Thought I had
Oh,
burned
so
them,
you're
but
a
they came out crispy, and they actually had a little bit of bacon flavor to them with the crispiness in the butter. I'll have to fix them that way
with
on purpose next time.
mushroom
Um,
chips instead of potato chips.
yeah, mushroom chips. Yeah, and also too. There are mushroom kits. I had been looking a month ago at mushroom kits on Amazon. Didn't buy any, but yeah, those are around and they're a lot of fun. And there is a company that is growing mushrooms in sawdust, packed sawdust in warehouses, and they're supplying them in refrigerated units that they've produced to certain stores that carry mushrooms. And I have some information. I'll share that with you guys.
Yeah, share that with us in the
Very
chat.
unique. And they would wear masks because of all the spores in these warehouses when they grew them. So thank you very
Awesome.
much. That was fun. I loved it.
Thank you for sharing that. That's good. I shared the link to the place in California that I bought the mushroom kit. It's in the chat, and then the lion's mane, and then the coffee that Gloria was talking about, because I love that coffee. It's just delicious. So you can try that. Go ahead, Jorgen.
Thank you so much, Darlene. Very interesting. If it is possible, when you send out this PDF, your presentation, it would be nice to have the links to the videos also. I don't know if it's possible.
Oh,
And
yes, I'll have all the references at the bottom of the PDF.
wow. And this wood web, I think if you enter a wood with dangerous animals, snakes, poison plants, you have a great success if you ask of permission to enter. the wood, the nature, we are all connected. And you ask why you are here, you are more protected. I've heard that several times. That's very interesting. And
Mhm.
and I eat like I'm a plant eater. This lion's mane is popular for some vegan to use for substituting for meat also. If you make a burger, something like that. And this younger have used that for herbal tea also. So thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Okay, Rich and then Linda.
Hi, that was an awesome experience today with, first of all, with you, Tracy, and I felt that energy going right through my spine and all the cells were jumping for joy. So that was a good meditation as well as the whole experience of the other higher level of energy coming in. I felt it immediately. So thank
Oh,
you for
thank
that.
you.
And I want to address Darlene. You were talking about all the mushrooms being modulators.
No, not all of them.
There's
No.
certain ones that
That's
are.
the medicinal ones that have been in the research. There's like 5 of them.
Hi, I'd like to get,
Shiitake, turkey tail, your lion's mane,
oh, the
shiitake.
main ones. Also, I feel really good that I'm listening to this today because you're re-inspiring me about mushrooms. I used to kind of like stay away from it for some reason. I don't know why, but now I'm very more interested. But as far as modulating, I don't know if you mentioned it. You were mentioning it that it
They're
helps to.
immune modulators. So
Yeah, no, modulation though is basically you're trying to balance out the deficiencies and then the underactive and the overactive things that go on in the human in the immune system. Where overactive is more of a immune, what do you call it? Over is underactive. You're not getting enough of the
Autoimmune.
autoimmune. Yeah, autoimmune.
autoimmune disease.
Uh,
Yeah.
uh,
So the modulation point is almost very very thin to get it completely modulate. But it's interesting to know about mushrooms being modulators. I think that's awesome.
Like reishi is a hormone regulator as well. So it works in that
Yeah.
regard.
I used to think that fungus, I mean, this is my own probably belief or something, that fungus was not good because of, if you had candida or something, but I think that was the wrong belief.
Well,
But
it serves as a probiotic and a pre, so it works in both ways too.
yeah, so it doesn't affect anyone because the biome has fungus and viruses and bacteria. But most people think about bacteria as the biome rather than that. Do you know what the percentage of fungus plays in the actual biome itself? Like the 500 trillion microbes that were probably originally were?
All right, I think, Rich, you're going over our head.
Well,
Okay.
there's 500 trillion microbes in our biome, which is more significant than our other things. And it
I heard
contains
7
fungus.
billion.
Huh?
Heard 7 billion.
No, it's trillion. It's
It's
500.
trillion.
Trillion.
It's 10 times the amount of cells we have, cellular cells,
Wow.
basically. Yeah. So it'd be interesting to see what level of power those have over the bacteria and the viruses.
Yeah. All
Anyway,
good stuff. Thank
Well,
you,
with
Rich. You're a wealth of knowledge. Okay, last question, then we got to go because we're running out of time. My dear Linda.
Hi, I'm just wondering if anybody knows much about puffballs. We have some growing around us, and I remember my parents going to Michigan to hunt for puffballs. They called them mushrooms. Are they any good? They're about this big around and they're white.
I don't know.
I've never
Maybe
heard of
not.
them. Maybe
Is
maybe
there
it's
another term?
indigenous to your area.
Could be.
Puffballs. I'll research that and find out.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, because through my study, I did not see anything called a puffball
Okay.
mushroom.
Well, I froze some. I sliced them and froze some last year. Taking the moisture out of them and freeze them, and then I break them up and put them in soup. And I'm hoping that those are good for you too.
Huh. Well, thank God they're not poisonous. You're still here with
They're
us.
not- They're definitely not poisonous.
Yeah.
Well, I would research and see why you're eating them and what their purpose is. Yeah, before I would ingest anything. So
Yeah,
that-
well, I looked them up and they say they're harmless, but I just never really knew exactly, if they were comparable to other kinds of mushrooms as far as nutrients go.
Well, they do come from a spore.
Huh.
So you're getting, yeah. And so I'm looking at it, it says it's safe to eat. It's edible. I'll have to read. It looks like a white button mushroom. That's what it looks
So
like.
they're huge. Some of them get this
Yeah.
big.
Linda, send me
Wow.
a picture and I'll take it to my guy.
Oh, I don't.
I
have
posted the
any color.
Wikipedia. Posted the Wikipedia in the chat. There's pictures. Yeah.
Okay, because I have the guide to feed and seed
Yeah.
store. I can take him a stick and he knows what it is.
And
mistake.
somebody posted that Ganoderma is out, but if you just look up Gano XL, there's plenty of people who are selling it that have it. Well, there's two.
Turkey. That's turkey.
And the classic is the one, because some of them have sugar, some of them have chocolate flavor. This is the classic. It's just coffee and the mushroom, the reishi. So make sure you don't get the wrong one.
Yeah, it's so good. Okay, you guys. I had something I was gonna say to close with, and I just lost it. Ay, ay, ay. Dr. Gloria is going to be speaking to us next week. I think it's about color and how it has to do with your health. Is that what it is, Gloria?
Yep, how color feeds your subconscious like nutrients feed your body.
So your
So
homework
that's
this
an
week
interesting
is,
topic.
I'm sorry, I'm breaking up. I didn't hear what you said.
I said color feeds your subconscious like nutrients feed your body.
Ah, cool. That's perfect. And I want to give you a homework assignment because I almost forgot, is to try a new mushroom this week. So you can either try a supplement like Darlene had mentioned, or you can go to your local farmer's market or Whole Foods or any store that you shop at, or you can buy a grow kit. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to look for something I've not grown before, either reishi or lion's mane, or maybe both. And since I live on a farm, I'm going to add that to the repertoire. And Darlene, you know what I think would be helpful if you can share as well as a link to get the stuff that you can put in a bee feeder so that anybody who wants to support their local bees, that they can do that. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Order bees. Yes.
Okay, thank
Awesome.
you. Yeah.
Okay, let's close the way we always do. The PowerPoint will be shared. Okay, may you think only joyful thoughts to your lips. May you speak only kind words to your heart. May you show love to yourself and to all those around you. Peace, peace, peace. Namaste. Thank you, Darlene. And thank you, Dr. Gloria, Kelly, Sally, Linda M. You guys are awesome. And thank you, all you members, for hanging out with us and loving yourself to hell. Thank you, thank you,
Namaste.
thank
Thank you, everybody.
The light in me recognizes
you.
the light in you. You guys, thank you so much for coming and hanging out.
Thank
I
you.
know we go long, but there's just so much to share. So have a beautiful day, and we'll see you all tomorrow.